In today's video, I'm going to be discussing September 18th, the important announcement out of the Fed and your money. I have all the details for you right here in the video. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. First off, thank you so much for liking and sharing this video with those buttons right down below. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well with the big old subscribe button waiting for you right down below the video. Again, thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. It is such a weird time right now. A lot of things are changing, and it is a very busy time of year between now and the end of the year. We've got a lot going on. So anyway, I want to talk about September 18th. In just a matter of days from now, we're going to be getting an important announcement out of the Fed, and I want to point out exactly what this means for you and your money and the anticipations as of right now, because this could potentially be a game-changing announcement from the Fed as well. We've been waiting for something like this for a very long time now, and maybe the data points are possibly pointing towards something like this, but we don't know quite yet, and we won't know for a couple more days. But I want to bring this to your attention anyway, because this is going to be very impactful for all of us and our money, especially what's been going on the last couple of years. All right, so what is going on September 18th? Well, first off, a couple different things, but this is actually the day in which the Federal Reserve is going to be wrapping up their two-day FOMC meeting. Now, they meet once every 6 weeks. They get together for a two-day meeting. It starts on Tuesday, and it wraps up early on Wednesday. And then shortly thereafter at 2:30 p.m. East Coast time, the chairman of the Federal Reserve comes out, Jerome Powell, and he has a press conference. He answers questions, he tiptoes around answers, and all kinds of things like this. But right away at 2 p.m. East Coast time on Wednesday, which is the 18th as well, we get the announcement as far as what the Federal Reserve has decided to do with interest rates. Now, have interest rates been impacting you a little bit over the last couple of years? If not, well, first off, congratulations, because you're possibly one of the very few people that have actually been impacted, or not impacted, I should say, by interest rates. But I think for the majority of us, the vast majority of us here, we have been impacted in some way, shape, or form by high interest rates because of the Federal Reserve raising up interest rates over the last couple of years. For example, are you carrying a balance on a credit card? I am. Not proud of it, but I am, okay? And are these interest rates very high on credit cards right now? Yeah, they're ridiculously high, right? Like 22.5% interest rates on these things right now, which is nuts considering just a couple of years ago, we were sitting at, on average, an interest rate on the credit card was sitting at about 14.5%, and now we're sitting on average at about 22.5%. That's a lot higher. That means a lot more money going out of our pockets, out of our bank accounts, into the accounts of the bank, because they're collecting all that interest from us, right? So anyway, long story short, that is just one example of where interest rates have been really impacting people. Again, same thing goes with any type of personal loans, auto loans, lines of credit, anything like this. Doesn't matter. Credit cards, literally the list goes on and on. Mortgages, if you've been trying to get a mortgage over the last couple of years, you know you're paying significantly higher interest rates right now. They've been kind of oscillating around this 7% range for quite a while now, but that is still very high. But my point is, this is going to be a very influential meeting. Here's why. There's a lot of speculation out there saying that the Federal Reserve may be cutting with this meeting. Here's why. Because this is the last meeting before the election in November, okay? This is the last one. Now, that'd be 100% a political move if they actually do cut during this meeting. But if they do, how much is it going to be? Not much. 25 basis points, probably, if they do anything at all, okay? Now, the consensus is kind of pretty much divided. It's kind of like right down the middle. Some people are saying, yes, for sure, they're going to cut, and some people are suggesting, no, they're definitely not going to. Now, we won't know for a little bit longer, but I can tell you this much. Whether they pause or whether they cut, it's not going to be much, okay? If they do cut, it's going to be, what, 25 basis points, a quarter of 1%. Is that impactful in any way, shape, or form? Not really. Don't get me wrong. It all helps. It all helps a lot. But 25 basis points is nothing. It's literally, hey, look at us. Give us some attention. Please recognize us. We cut interest rates by 25 basis points. Who cares? It does nothing for us. It saves us no money. 25 basis points is nothing. Who cares, right? But again, we need interest rates to come down at some point, and they will. At some point, they will come down. But if they do this, it's literally just a political move, just being like, oh, look what we did, right? So anyway, we'll see what happens here going forward. But either way, this will be a very, very important meeting because we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, they've been pausing for a very long time now. for a long time. They've been pausing on all these interest rate hikes. They basically started in March of 2022, and they started increasing for many meetings for a long time there. And we've been sitting at this very elevated pace of interest rates for quite a while, a long time, about a year now is what we've been sitting at these high interest rates. So we'll have to see here. And again, this is all going to impact all of us to some way, shape, or form. Eventually, remember this much as well. There's a lot of people that suggest, oh, the Federal Reserve will never cut interest rates. They have to. They have to. 100% they have to, okay? Whether they do it this time or next time, the next meeting after this, by the way, is in early November, okay? The first week or so of November is when the next meeting comes after this one. So if they don't do it now, maybe they'll do it then. But it all comes down to economic data. Remember, the whole purpose of the Federal Reserve raising these interest rates is to cut down this inflation. Well, we've been seeing high inflation for a very long time. Even now, years after we peaked out. Inflation topped out at 9.1% in June of 2022. That was a long time ago. I mean, that was well over 2 years ago, right? So my point is, they've been battling with this inflation for a long time, even though we had people like Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen come out and they're like, oh yeah, this is transitory. They said this years ago. Are you kidding me? We knew better than this. We were saying this all along. It's not transitory. You got to be kidding me. It's going to take way longer than short term. By the way, transitory means short term. It's just a nice way of saying short term. They basically said it's short term. No, it's not. We knew this a very long time ago. It's not short term. There's no possible way that they can bring inflation from 9.1% down to 2% in like a short amount of time. It's going to take years. Here we are sitting here since we peaked out back in June of 2022. We're still sitting with elevated inflation. So there you go, right? Anyway, but we'll have to see what happens here with the Federal Reserve. But again, remember, the whole idea is to bring inflation down. Now, with a lot of the strong economic data points that we continue to see, it's a little bit mixed. Some are strong, some are not so strong. So it's kind of giving mixed signals here, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens here with the Federal Reserve and if they actually do cut this time or if they wait it out and if they actually hold to the plan, they stick to the plan, which is we're not cutting, we're not doing anything until this inflation comes back down. I don't know. Well, time will tell here, right? So anyway, obviously, I'll continue to watch all the details very closely. And when we get that announcement right away, obviously, I'll bring it to your attention and let you know what's going on here. But this will be a good one, and it'll give us a much better glimpse into the future as far as what we could potentially start to see. Now, the next big question would be this much. Let's just say, in theory, the Federal Reserve does cut interest rates on Wednesday. Whoa, right? They do this, okay? Let's just say that they do in theory. But then my next big question would be this much. Are they going to cut again in November, or are they just going to pause? What are they going to do, right? And again, we'll have to see what happens. But if inflation's not back down to their goal here, right? If inflation's not back down to their 2%, which it's not there yet. If it's not there, are they going to cut prematurely, like some people are anticipating they will, for political reasons? And then if so, what is going to happen in November when it's after the elections? Are they going to cut again, or are they going to pause and be like, well, just kidding, we're just going to stop again for a minute, right? Again, revealing their hand, exactly why they may cut in the first place, right? So again, you just got to look through all the smoke and mirrors here. We know exactly what's going on. They're not fooling anybody. They think they are, but they're not. We know better than that, right? So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for now, but I hope this helps you. Again, I will continue to watch this announcement very closely. This is influential. The Federal Reserve and their FOMC announcements, which is exactly what this is a very important decision. Comes out only once every 6 weeks, so about once every month and a half or so, give or take a little bit. So we will see what happens here, and again, I'll bring you that information as soon as we get it, right away Wednesday. So anyway, hope this helps you, but again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Like the video, share the video, leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Again, totally free to do so. Yeah, check out some of their videos here on the channel, the thousands in the video library, the ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description of the top of the comment section, and right now popping up on your screen, you'll see some videos there as well. Thank you so much, really appreciate it. Have a nice day, enjoy, and I'll catch you again later.